Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews Money in the Bank edition. After watching 3.5 hours of Money in the Bank, let me tell you, I'm a little bit exhausted. I'm here with you all tonight. I want to hear everybody's opinions of what they thought of Money in the Bank. Of course, we'll give a grade a little bit later, but right now I'm waiting on none other than the overseer, George Samuel Lewis. What's going on, John? So he can get on and we can talk about it. But before we start, the man with no name would like to come on and give you his quick thoughts of how he felt about Money in the Bank. He's going to be on for 5 minutes before we put the overseer on, and we go over Money in the Bank step by step. So, Stefan, if you're out there, send us a request. If you're not out there, you have about 30 seconds before we put the overseer on. So we're waiting on the former administrator, the former wild card, the former advocate, the man with no name, Stefan Duviella. Here, ready when you are, sir. Hated that Brock comeback, and we're definitely going to talk about it in a second. George, give me a few minutes. He wanted to be on real quick. I'm a little lost here. Anytime. Stefan. All right, Stefan. You have about 30 seconds. Send me a request to log you in. Willie says he hated that Brock comeback. Your request. Can you send me your request, Mr. Duviella? Send me your request so you can talk about your opinion on how good or bad Money in the Bank is. The ultimate troll strikes again. And this is the main reason why the ratings are going to crap, says one Bill Ken Martin. So I see his opinion on that. What's the reason why? Was it the Brock Lesnar ending? Was it the Money in the Bank pay-per-view as a whole? Was it a main event completely? What was the reason it was bad for you and why you think it is? And all right, Stefan, adding again. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Adding, decline. Okay. Another lousy pay-per-view by Jose. All right, Hoodie. You have 5 minutes.
All right. First off, this was probably the most up and down Money in the Bank. I feel like our predictions were way off. All of our predictions were way off. The entire team. And I'm going to take a universal L for our entire team in saying we apologize to you, the fans, who are looking to us to kind of make some sense out of this year's Money in the Bank. Vince McMahon is out of his damn mind. So he swerved the hell out of every single one of us. I was balancing the odds. I literally was balancing watching Game of Thrones and watching Money in the Bank. And I fucking hate tonight. I'll just say that. But all in all, I think that Brock Lesnar coming back tonight was a huge impact. He usually does make huge impacts when he comes back. He sets up a match between him and Seth Rollins, and it makes sense at this point. So he's not just getting a blatant rematch. Kofi retaining, Seth retaining, all made sense. I didn't see Bayley coming. I mean, I knew that they would have, depending on where the women's match was on the card, that somebody could possibly cash in, and Bayley was my pick, but I didn't pick Charlotte to win at all, and that was kind of crazy because I'm a huge Charlotte Flair fan. And I should have seen that one coming. Ray winning was like, what the fuck? I don't know, guys. You guys got to kind of try to help me make some sense out of this. Like, I'm on for, 3 more minutes with Chris? Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know how to feel about this. I got to give a grade for this shit. And I figure that the overseer is going to get on here, and it's going to be, really impactful, what the conversation is going to be. So, Chris, what are you thinking, bro? I know you're saving your thoughts for the overseer, but could you just We're in Florida and New York respectively. So, how do you feel about what just happened?
I was fine. I enjoyed every moment of it. There was actually nothing wrong with that pay-per-view to me. From beginning to end, I enjoyed it. From the swerve of the Usos winning, and they didn't win the championship, so I'm not too upset about it. Bailey winning, becoming the SmackDown Women's Champion was great. And I'll elaborate more on that as I go along with the Overseer in a couple of minutes. But the bottom line is it was a really great pay-per-view. I like the fact that Brock Lesnar won. I was happy. I was marking out Brock Lesnar brings money. When his music hits, just like it does every time, especially when it's a surprise, the fans got out of their seat. And he actually looked, for the first time I've seen in a while, legitimately happy to be there. I loved it. I loved every minute. The Universal title match was pretty good. Kofi Kevin Owens match I felt like could have been a little bit better, but the Universal title match was pretty good. I see nothing wrong with it. I'm just going to see a bunch of crying, but we're going to deal with that as the Overseer and I get on in about 2 more minutes. Stefan, what else you got for me?
Nah, I mean, I'm not mad at what the pay-per-view did. I mean, in terms of 2019 pay-per-views, this is probably among the best. And in terms of in-ring work, there were a couple of botches, and I'm not going to be too overcritical because that happens in the wrestling ring. But everybody went out there to show their stuff. Amazing sunset powerbomb by Andrade on Ali. That was just Randy Orton. Literally, if you pick the front runner
on Finn Balor,
it was on Finn.
A little Finn. Finn's the one that bounced like a basketball.
Okay, so my thing is, I enjoyed this pay-per-view for what it was. I enjoyed it for all the spectacle around it. I enjoyed the moments where I didn't know who was going to come out on top, and I think that's what Money in the Bank needs to be. I would rather it not be as predictable as anything. I wrote a prediction list, and I was sitting there just crossing things, just Xing out my choices. I'm just like, damn. But honestly, Chris, I know you got to get on with the Overseer. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I will give you my rating before, because I'm sure me and April will talk about this on Tuesday. I'm going to give this an A+ because it did what it needed to do, even though I felt like it was McIntyre's time. Obviously not. They'll find a way to put that strap on him before the end of the year, or maybe next year. But obviously, that's probably the only down I'll give it. But I'll still give it an A+ because Brock Lesnar returning, amazing. People expected Bray Wyatt. People expected Big E to come out of injury. Guys, Big E was injured, so he wasn't coming back. People expected. No one expected Brock Lesnar, to be completely honest. And that was an amazing swerve and an amazing way to end the match, because I felt like McIntyre was going to come and Claymore him off the ladder. I was ready to mark out because I saw McIntyre's arm hit the apron. I was like, yes! And then he's like, but c'est la vie. We will live another day. We will live to see another pay-per-view. It is not the worst thing that could have happened, guys. So, guys, I will bid you adieu. Chris, I believe you have the Overseer waiting on you. So,
I'm sure he's waiting.
I will not take more of your time. Please, bro, have a good evening. I hope you guys actually find some sort of enjoyment in the pay-per-view tonight.
Got you. Shout out to Clifford for joining us tonight. Stefan, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday, brother.
That was the man with no name, Stefan Duviella, giving you his review, so to speak, of what he thought of Money in the Bank. We are now about to be joined by none other than the Overseer, George Samuel Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Reviews, powered by Yep, I Like Wrestling. Money in the Bank. I am your host, the executive consultant, Chris Harris. Over to the right is none other than the person getting stuff together, the Overseer, George Samuel Lewis, coming off of a successful show on Thursday where he revealed how he feels about Australians. George, as a whole, how was Money in the Bank for you?
Wow. I didn't expect it, especially that main event where Brock comes out and take the briefcase. That was a big swerve for me. I didn't expect Brock to show up at all. It kind of threw me off. Me and my friends were watching it, and then like, hold up, Brock's here? I didn't know he was gonna show up. I was like, wait a minute, because the match was really good, but Brock coming out, you pointed it out. Yeah, I think it's gonna help some for ratings, but if Brock cashes in, he's going after the Universal Championship. I can already see it.
Great, great. Do you have the lineup of the match order for the event tonight?
I do. It starts up with a kickoff matchup with the Usos versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Rowan.
Yeah, and the Usos picked up the win. I thought it was going. You picked Daniel Bryan and Rowan to win.
Well, I would have picked the Usos if I knew it was going to be a non-title match. I think they advertised it and everybody had the impression that it was going to be a title match, which is why I picked Daniel Bryan and Rowan, considering the fact that the Usos are on Raw, even though it seems like everything's going out the window. However, when it was revealed that it was not, it made sense for it to be the Usos. The Usos, well, it still didn't make sense, but I would have probably picked the Usos to go over.
Right. I mean, I wanted the Usos to win. I did pick Daniel Bryan and Rowan to win the match, but like you said, WWE swerved us in this. Didn't expect it, but in the end, the Usos, even though it wasn't for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships or nothing like that, it was just a simple tag match. Usos needed to be done, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, my predictions were off a little bit on that.
It was only one kickoff match for this pay-per-view. The first opening match was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi versus Mandy Rose versus Dana Brooke versus Bayley versus Ember Moon versus three other people I can't remember at the top of my head. But
Carmella.
Yeah, Carmella.
Nikki Cross. Mandy Rose and Bayley.
Yeah, I think I said those two. We're still missing one person, but regardless of the fact, Money in the Bank starts with Naomi already in the ring like she had a commercial break entrance. So, yeah, Money in the Bank match was insane. Dempsey, I'm glad. I wish I was there tonight. Bottom line is, in all four Money in the Bank ladder matches for the women so far, I honestly believe this was the best one, the most exciting one that they've had. Shout out to Carmella. I saw the little spot where I'm not sure if it was real or scripted. I'm sorry, it was real or scripted. Really looked like she tweaked herself a little bit there. Really looked like Mandy was confused because she was like pushing like, "Hey, get off of me!" Really seriously.
Yeah,
so she came back. She came back to do her thing. You know, I'm a big Carmella fan, but I called it. I thought it was going to happen. Bayley winning the Money in the Bank. She really deserved it. Well deserved. What did you think about the match overall, George?
I picked Bayley to win. I picked Bayley to win as well. I mean, this match was pretty good, even though I didn't expect Sonya Deville to come out and try to help Mandy win the Money in the Bank ladder match.
She tried.
But this was, she tried and failed miserably. But Bayley deserves this, and to me, I think this was a step. Because I've been watching a lot of comments on Yep I Like Wrestling that this was a shot at Sasha Banks, and I kind of agree with it because Bayley wasn't one. Yeah, and I was like, okay, so they're gonna mention Sasha Banks in this, and I'm pretty sure she was probably someone watching. From what I heard, that she did tweet out, "Congrats to Bayley on winning the Money in the Bank, Women's Money in the Bank," and we'll get into that on we'll get into all that how she cashed in. But the match was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I was quite impressed with it. What was the next match of the night? I think it was Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe for United States Championship.
Yes. Now this match, all over Yep I Like Wrestling, you know what I'm saying? It was botched. Samoa Joe got a little bloodied.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. This, even though at the end Rey Mysterio won the U.S. title, not in some kind of controversial. A lot of people saying it's controversial on how he won it. A lot of people saying the refs are BS on this, but I didn't think this was gonna, I don't think I had Joe retaining the U.S. title, but I didn't think Ray was gonna win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely understand why you would say that. But hey, shout out to Bayley. I was happy to see it. I'm happy for Bayley, big Bayley fan, and we'll talk more about Bayley coming up soon. But like I said, I'm sorry, what was Joe? Somebody mentioned Bailey. Anyway, bottom line is Samoa Joe lost the match. I'm not sure what was going on with the refs in that match because Samoa Joe's shoulders was completely up. But
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, your new United States champion. Did not think that was going to happen. But I honestly will say this. I'll give a shout out to Samoa Joe. Any storyline you put him in, not necessarily the match, but any storyline you put him in is really, really good. I like the work he puts into it. He's believable. He's real. He's raw. He's solid.
His mic skills are good.
I'm interested in seeing what happens tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw between Dominic, Rey Mysterio, and Samoa Joe. So,
yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Oh my God, this man's just catch up. Okay, what was the next match? Was it for the women's championship, the Raw Women's Championship, or no?
Yeah, I believe it was for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch defending against Lacey Evans. This match, I'm gonna come out and say that wow. I thought Lacey had this match, pretty much. I thought she had it, but at the end Becky took it and retained. Chris, what did you think about that? I mean, I thought Lacey would have had this match won, in my opinion.
I don't think it's time for Lacey to win yet. Like I said this past Monday, I don't think she looks right with the championship yet. She doesn't seem as comfortable. She's good. She's decent in the ring. I won't say she's good. She's decent in the ring. She's good on the mic. She still needs a little bit more fine-tuning. The finish was botched. Referee once again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Honestly, Lacey Evans should be your new Raw Women's Champion. She had Becky Lynch down for a 4 or 5 count, to be honest with you. And then she got put in this armor, and this is where I think a little bit of inexperience comes from Lacey Evans. She immediately tapped out before the disarmor was even put on perfectly. So she's not ready for it yet. You know, I can't blame her completely for that botch, but you know, the match was solid. It was decent. Glad to see Becky Lynch retain that before immediately facing Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. George, go a little bit more into that.
Yeah, so after Becky retained the Raw Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair comes out and gets ready for her match with Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this right here, Becky just came off this match with Lacey, and Charlotte takes advantage of it, you know, until Lacey Evans hits her with the woman's right at the end. Charlotte takes advantage. Charlotte becomes the 9-time women's champion until Miss Money in the Bank, Bayley, comes out. Chris, was this unexpected for Bayley to come out to do her, you know, to cash in?
A lot of people predicted that whoever was going to win the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship was going to lose to whoever won the Money in the Bank for the women. I think it was really obvious that was going to happen. I did not think they were going to go that route because they just did it last year with Alexa Bliss over Nia Jax, but it made sense. My problem with it is, once again, the referee looks like an idiot, and this was Mike Chioda, who's like the senior official of WWE. I know WWE likes to change its rules, but the rule is when you cash in Money in the Bank, the competitor has to get on their feet first before the match starts. Charlotte never made it to her feet. So I'm a little upset at that. I have no problem with the fact that Bayley won. You know, like I said, I've been singing her praises lately, but no doubt in my mind that Charlotte should still be your SmackDown Women's Champion. But hey, like I said, happy Bayley won. She deserves the championship. She's a hard worker. So congratulations to her, and the longest women's celebration in the history of any wrestling pay-per-view after the match, which goes to Bayley.
Agreed very, very well. She's a grand champion.
You know, she won NXT. Baby mama. I want to know for his future ex-baby mama. I don't know who that is.
Bayley is now grand champion. She was an NXT Women's Champion, former Raw Women's Champion, former Women's Tag Champion, and now you can call her SmackDown Women's Champion. This was
that's what she wants
much
to be
needed
called.
For her. Yeah, so this was much needed, but I do think Charlotte will probably say, no, I'm going to get my rematch. I do see that rematch happening
I'm glad
at some
see
point.
It. The only problem I have with that is the fact that this keeps Charlotte Flair in the title picture, and she really does need a rest. I'm a Charlotte Flair fan. I mean, she legitimized any match that she's in, to be honest with you, any feud. But Hey, you know, whatever. Charlotte Flair, you know, I forgot for it. I'm sorry. Yes, Charlotte is your future baby mother. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Reviews powered by Yup, I Like Wrestling. I am one of your hosts, the executive consultant, Chris Harris. Over to our right is none other than the overseer, George Samuel Lewis. If you're liking this video, please, unlike whatever his name is in the comments there, like, heart, and share this video. Like, heart, and share, and follow us at UPR Yup ILW on all social media accounts. George, what's the next match? Was it the cage match between Miz and Shane?
Yes, it was the Miz versus Shane McMahon in the steel cage match. We both predicted that we all predicted the Miz would win this one, but this match was, I want to get your thoughts on this before I get my thoughts on this.
It was boring. It was it started off strong, but it was boring. These two are not built for a cage match between each other. So it wasn't where it needed to be. But I will also say this. I predicted the Miz to win, but this morning there was something that told me it was going to be Shane, because I really believe Shane's going to go into a feud with Roman Reigns after this, and he has to look strong.
Yes.
The problem I had with it is I feel like it kind of deflates the Miz's push.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I picked the Miz to win as well, but you mentioned Shane McMahon getting ready to have a feud with Roman Reigns down the road. But the match beginning, like you said, it was strong, but it lacked a little bit the entire night. It was a boring match after, but a lot of people were saying this was a boring match, and I didn't think Shane was going to win at all. I didn't expect it, but we'll have to see Monday night what takes place. But hey, Shane won the match, sets up a feud with Roman Reigns down the road.
Yeah. What was the next match? Was it Roman Reigns and Elias?
Yes, Roman Reigns versus Elias. This was a short match, actually.
Very short match. And what it did was made Elias look very, very weak. You knew Roman Reigns was going to take the W. You already knew it. It made sense for him to take the W. But it made Elias look very, very weak. And anything he had going for him, any momentum he had going for him, which I honestly think since he got switched to SmackDown, kind of dropped. But any momentum he had going for him is done. I mean, where did he go from here?
I don't know. I was hoping he'd be in a Intercontinental Championship picture at some point, but after tonight, don't see it.
Right.
It's just he's really been used as a jobber, in my opinion, because this match wasn't even. I had to flip to another channel. Actually, I was at my friend's house watching it, and I left because this match was so boring. So, yeah, Roman Reigns got the W. It seems like it's going to set up, like you said, Shane versus Roman down the road.
Yeah. So the next match, I'm pretty sure, was for the Universal Championship between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
Yes, and this match was the best match. I mean, it literally made me get up on my seat because these two, I didn't think this match was going to be this good. Back and forth it went, and AJ almost had it. Seth Rollins would counter, did what he needed to do, but in the end, Seth Rollins retains the Universal Championship. At the end of that, Seth and AJ shook hands. I thought AJ was going to turn heel at that point.
No. I do believe AJ is going to turn heel in the coming weeks, but I don't think I do not want to buy a new title, Elvis. I'm going to talk about it in a second. I do not like the fact they're getting a new belt. But I do think AJ is going to turn heel very soon, but it wasn't going to be tonight. It's going to be try to be a little bit more of a surprise, even though we all see it coming.
Yeah, most definitely. It's coming, but not just yet.
Shout out to Elvis. Thanks for joining us.
The next match is the WWE Championship match. Kofi Kingston defending against Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. You mentioned it that this match was didn't live up to expectations.
Wasn't a bad match. Wasn't a bad match whatsoever.
Right.
I think what killed it was the crowd. I don't think they were really into this match, and it could be because it was right after the Universal Championship match. That's a definitely a possibility, but it did not
Yeah.
have the effect that it should have had. Because I honestly think under any normal circumstance, these two can close out the show, and these two can put on a great match. But it was a little bit lacking in the match, and I don't think it's the end of the feud to completely put it out there. But I do believe that it should possibly be the end of this feud.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I picked Kofi to win. Didn't expect Kevin Owens to win this match, but it did lack. It did lack at all throughout the entire pay-per-view. I mean, the crowd was not even in it because they were so into that AJ Seth Rollins match.
Yeah, this was the smallest ovation that Kofi got since he began his pushback in January.
Right. So, I mean, this feud should end. I mean, it definitely needs to end right here. Possibly, maybe if Big E returns, possibly end of the New Day split. Probably Big E turning heel at some point. We'll have to see. But this match, to me, didn't live up to the hype.
Right. Right. All right. So for the last match, the main event, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin versus Ricochet versus Andrade versus Ali versus Finn Balor. And later we'll talk about what happened at the end. Was supposed to be Sami Zayn. He got put out by Braun Strowman. George, what did you think of this match?
It was really good. I mean, I give it credit. I mean, this was
the main event. The other one. We didn't mention that. We forgot about Nikki earlier. But go ahead.
It was a pretty good match. It was a main event match, but although it went all over the place. This was, I want to say, I'm rereading comments on here. This match definitely did a good job. I mean, I'm not mad at this.
I'm not mad
at all. I mean, but like you said, the ending of this match was, in my opinion, like a WTF moment. I did not expect that.
The match itself, for once, I know WWE likes using this phrase a lot, especially Michael Cole, fed by Vince McMahon, but this match as a whole was completely a train wreck. There were bodies everywhere. There were so many spots. I agree with Matthew. One of the better ladder matches. There were so many spots of destruction. I mean, Stefan alluded to it earlier with Finn Balor bouncing like a basketball. I mean, the match started, and it should have been a testament to how it was, with Randy Orton dragging 3 people out the ring and doing his little table spot that he likes to do, but no tables broke of all of them. So, I mean, so many spots. You know, Ricochet looked like he got killed by Drew McIntyre earlier when Drew McIntyre threw him over the thing. Baron Corbin chokeslammed Ali like one of the worst chokeslams I've ever seen in my life. God. Putting Ali through a table. You know, I mean, it was just a great, hard-hitting match. So shout out to that match. I really loved it. One of the best Money in the Bank ladder men's matches I've seen in years. So, you know, I can't speak enough about it. I know a lot of people have said the Brock Lesnar thing, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I just want to give a quick clap to 6 of the 8 competitors in that match because they did a tremendous job. And I mean 6 because, honestly, as much as I like Randy Orton and I liked a lot of his spots in this match, I think I don't know if I said it in a chat room of mine or I said it in Yep, I Like Wrestling Universe, but Randy Orton pretty much stayed outside the ring all the time unless it was time for his spot. I barely, like, there was one time where I saw Randy Orton, I was like, damn, I forgot he was in this match. I think that's when he did his little thing where he likes doing the leg thing and then landing into RKO, which he's done in like 17 ladder matches. So, you know, I don't think he really did much. I think he was just there just to add name recognition to it. But, you know, a lot of people. Also want to give a quick shout out. I know it's going to sound insulting, but normally WWE does this spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match where everybody is out of the ring, and I'm going to continue 5 more minutes because Clifford's still talking his normal crap. Thank you for being a fan. But when everybody is out of the ring and there's one person in the ring and they start, you know, saying, oh, the underdog, can he do it? Can he do it? And they want all the fans to rah, 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 rah. That spot went to Ali, and the place was dead. That's all I want to say. I thought that was so funny.
Yes.
I've never seen that before. Normally, even Dana Brooke, they gave that spot to Dana Brooke earlier in the match, and some people started chanting Dana Brooke because they were hoping she was going to get that ladder. But Ali did not.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I definitely saw that. But you brought all the points in it. This match was all over the place. I mean, it looked botched in my opinion. But I looked at that match. I thought Ali was definitely going to climb that ladder. I thought he was going to grab that briefcase. I was assuming he was going to get it. Me and my friends would say, grab the briefcase. He didn't. And yeah, I mean, it was an okay main event.
Right. It was great. I really liked that match. I really do. I'm not upset that Brock won. I don't think he needs to have the Money in the Bank briefcase. Okay, so
right.
I do think that was a waste, but it was a swerve. It was a surprise. Like I said, Brock looked legitimately happy to be out there for once because he knew how everybody was going to react. He knew people were going to start booing like, oh, we don't want to see Brock, and even though the place was louder than it was almost the entire night when Brock Lesnar comes out. And Clifford, if you start your own podcast, I'll be right there as a fan. So I hope you do. And it just seems like a century because you've been here watching us for the past 3 weeks, and I thank you for watching us. Please make sure you like, heart, and share this video, and subscribe to us at UPR Yep ILW. Go ahead, George.
Elvis Martinez said Brock versus Kofi.
That is a strong possibility. One thing you have to do is listen to WWE when they speak. When the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match started coming on, I can't remember his name, the SmackDown lead play-by-play guy said they can go after the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship. So I'm pretty sure the same thing goes to the men. Brock Lesnar can pull a swerve and go after Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship, especially since I think they already announced that he had a rematch against Seth Rollins at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. So, hey, more power to it.
I mean,
Brock and Kofi, that's pretty much the end of Kofi. Honestly speaking, if he goes after Kofi, he's going to win the championship. If he goes after Seth, he's going to lose. But that'll be the first time. If he goes after again, he's going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Brock. I don't see Brock going after the. If he's getting a rematch for the Universal title, so what was the point of him having the Money in the Bank briefcase if he's getting his rematch at Super Showdown?
Right.
What's the point of that? I mean, I don't understand that. If he's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, then why would you have him face Seth Rollins for the Universal title at Super Showdown? That doesn't make any sense,
Elvis,
in my opinion.
Do that. What if Kofi beats Brock? Nobody believes that.
Nah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no,
Brock's too much.
It's not because that he's incapable, even though he isn't. But it's not because he's incapable of being Brock. It's because WWE would never let that happen. I got to read this. I think Brock Lesnar should have earned the Money in the Bank spot because I know Braun Strowman was pulled for the Money in the Bank, and then Braun Strowman, something. I can't read the rest of it because it's going too fast. Chris Harris, chief plug for a reason. Matt, you don't need a chief plug. You already have it. Cliff already says that we are better than us, so good job for that. He'll catch him with Kofi. And shout out to Julian Bell, who just joined in. Brock, 2 belts, no. And, hey, that's a possibility. And, George, what do you have to say to the masses? You've been calling Becky 2 belts overrated and that she was going to lose one of those championships. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight. She did. She's now down to Becky 1 belt. She tried to beat the – also, I want to add out, shout out to Hartford, Connecticut. I think they were actually a good group. But maybe Becky Lynch is starting to wear off because as hot as she is and as hot as she was when she came out, when Bayley won, if you go all about Becky Lynch, she still was laying around ringside somewhere. So that was the first time I've seen that in a while because Becky Lynch has been the hottest commodity in wrestling for the last 8 months or so. But when Bayley won, I didn't see or hear not one Becky chant or anybody pay attention to Becky Lynch. Hey, don't do that, Mark. I like Brock.
I mean, I predict that Becky wasn't going to have both belts. I mean, she is overrated. Her stock is definitely dwindling down. After she now is the Raw Women's Champion, then she's going to lose the Smack. She didn't lose. She lost the SmackDown Women's Championship to Charlotte. Charlotte lost it to Bayley. So now Becky is going to be on Raw. The question is, who was going to challenge Becky for the Raw Women's Championship is the question. We know I possibly maybe see Naomi in there somewhere. Possibly Natalia. I don't know. Oh, Ruby Riott, because everyone's been wondering how come Ruby Riott was not even in this Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm assuming Ruby deserves it because she's been in a championship match before. But this is all going to have to play out on who's going to be the next challenger for Becky's Raw Women's Championship. I say Lacey Evans.
It's still going to be Lacey Evans. Julian said Lacey was impressive, and she really wasn't that bad tonight. It's definitely going to stick with Lacey Evans for a while. Besides, Raw doesn't really have a strong women's cast, especially with Alexa Bliss allegedly being still injured. I'm not sure if she re-injured herself or what, and I hope Alexa Bliss gets well soon because she's been pretty much been on the shelf off and on for the past 8 months herself.
Right.
Want to see that happen because Alexa's a tremendous talent. I'm not sure what's going on with Ruby Riott, and Sasha Banks. I mean, I guess we might as well chalk her up to the game. I don't know. Like I said, they didn't mention her tonight, and they also didn't mention, once again, listen to what they're saying, that she's on the Raw brand. So Becky needs to continue her feud with Lacey Evans, but after she wins the next time, it needs to end, and they need to find a new competitor. I'm still a fan of Naomi. I wanted Bayley to win. I'm happy Bayley won, but I would have not been upset. I would have been just as happy to see Naomi win because Naomi deserves another push. She's still the best athlete, male or female, in my opinion, with exception maybe Ricochet in the WWE as a whole. So that's just my opinion on that. I think Ronda Rousey will come back and challenge Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey will be back a lot faster than most people think. I definitely think she'll be back before that you think.
Oh, yeah,
some people don't think she'll come back to like next year's WrestleMania. She'll be back before then. Before this calendar year is over, she will be back. What happened to Lars Head? I forgot about that. I was so happy to see Lars Sullivan come out because I was really upset to see the Lucha House Party, the Jobber House Party come out. It's like, you got to be kidding me to end this momentum with that. I don't know what happened to his head, but it looked awful after that. So terrible thing there, Raymond. Really bad thing about the referees because they botched like 4 things. I mean, Charlotte should have gotten told to get up before she defended the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch should have lost the Raw Women's Championship to Lacey Evans because her shoulders were down for a 5 count. And speaking of shoulders being down, Samoa Joe's shoulders were not. So let's take this podcast down. I'm hearing Survivor Series Ronda will be back. Ford, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Yeah.
I mean, if they're setting up 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen, I mean, Survivor Series is really probably a good place to put it. But we don't know if Shayna. Now, we mentioned Shayna. I mentioned that Shayna Baszler possibly maybe coming up to the main roster, could set that up. But you mentioned Ronda Rousey coming back faster. Most definitely she will be back much faster than expected. And she is definitely going to go after the Raw Women's Championship without question because you saw what happened at WrestleMania. And to me, that she didn't have her shoulders pinned. So I'm banking that Ronda is going to go after Becky for the Raw Women's Championship. She's not going to SmackDown Live. She's staying on Raw. That's his period in the story.
My wife, as Randy Moses said by Emmanuel, Mandy Rose did a good job tonight. I'll give her credit. Even though she might have injured Carmella, who's money, she did a good job. I like the spot with her and Sonya and Bayley at the end, the last 2 minutes. And those fans were just really into that spot. So it really looked like, for a second, they fooled me. I thought Mandy really was about to grab it.
Yeah.
I really thought Mandy was going to grab it. So I was happy to see it. Josh, don't worry about it. He's been doing this the last couple episodes. He's a fan. Go ahead, George.
I almost got up and walked out if Mandy was going to win that briefcase. I was like, don't you do it, until Bayley climbed up that ladder and just pushed both Mandy and Sonya off the ladder, and she became Miss Money in the Bank, and now she's SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah, so once again, shout out for all of these things. But Clifford's going to be very happy because we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up in about 2 minutes. George, tell me your overall grade and thoughts, and fans, I want you to do the same thing. Tell me your overall thoughts and grades for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view as a whole tonight. I will start off. I give it an A-. George, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it A- as well. I mean, it was a really good pay-per-view, and especially that ending really shocked me. But this was a really good pay-per-view. A- is my grade, and I liked it. I mean, it's not like other paper. I thought it was going to be lackluster, because we had about 9 or 10 matches on this card.
Yeah, they give you a good amount of matches now because they had to merge the pay-per-views, and the prices went up on their tickets, so they got to give money's worth.
We forgot to mention the Cruiserweight Championship match that was on that main card.
Tony Nese versus Davari. No, Tony Nese won. Solid Cruiserweight title match. Should be on the kickoff show, but hey, that's my opinion.
I didn't expect that was going to be on the main card at all. I thought it was going to be on the kickoff show as well.
205 Live matches should always be on the kickoff show, in my opinion. It may sound like an insult, but I don't think it belongs on the main roster. If you want to get the crowd into it and not die, then you put it on the kickoff show. Because the crowd usually during the kickoff show are just happy to see wrestlers out there at the time because it begins things.
Right.
That's what I would do if I were them. But hey, Clifford's going to be upset. But good point by Elvis. We can spend the time and talk about that. SummerSlam's right next door where I live. You live in Canada. But the bottom line is, let's talk about that. Tomorrow night, Mick Foley unveils a new championship for the World Wrestling Entertainment. George, the rumors are, since it's Mick Foley, and since they can't think of whatever championship it will be, it's going to be the Hardcore Championship. What do you believe is going to be the championship the WWE unveils tomorrow with Mick Foley, and why do you think they're unveiling this championship?
If it's definitely the Hardcore Championship, we don't know who's going to be competing for that. Some said the TV title, which I've never heard of. But if it's the Hardcore Championship, who's gonna go after it? Which brand is it going to be on? Will it be on? Was it going to be on Raw and SmackDown? That's the question.
I bet you it's definitely on both brands.
Just like the women's tag team titles.
It's a gut feeling.
If it is, hey, there's gonna be some who's going to contend for it. That's the big question. We don't know. Mick Foley, to me, he may swerve us and say a TV title, but if it's the Hardcore Championship, if they're bringing that title back, I think Mick Foley made that title famous when he had it, and back in the Attitude Era. But
he didn't make it famous. He was the first champion, but he didn't make it famous.
Okay, so if it's definitely the Hardcore title, then who you think is going to challenge? Who's going to challenge for it? I don't really see nobody.
I agree, Matt. I don't know. Somebody says it's just a way to bring Dean Ambrose back as Jon Moxley, and that's a possibility. But there's also rumors that he's going to be at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view in 2 weeks for AEW. So I should wait and see. I don't want to speculate. Most likely, logic will tell you it's probably the Hardcore Championship, but WWE likes to swerve. And honestly speaking, I don't understand the point. I posted it a few times in the Yep, I Like Wrestling Facebook page. I don't see why WWE thinks the answer is to have another championship. They have a lot of championships, and I named them all, and I still forgot one. There's so many championships, and I understand why they have all those championships. You have all these daggone brands. You need a main one. You need a mid-card. You need a women's. You need a tag team. So I understand, but it's still under the WWE, and that's still a lot of championships. Why add another one? Because most of the time, if I ask you to name each champion, you're going to think. You're not going to come up with what's the top of your head. I'll do it right now. Who's your Intercontinental Champion?
Finn Balor.
Cruiserweight.
Tony Nese.
NXT UK.
Which one, men or women?
NXT North American.
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, but you see the pause. It's just tough. You have to really think about it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's my only issue. It's not that you're not going to know. It's just that you have to think about it because there's so many championships. The United States Championship just changed hands, for heaven's sakes. And I still want to say Samoa Joe, but it's Rey Mysterio now. So I'm not sure why they're doing that. The only thing that makes sense is for, I might watch the AEW pay-per-view. I'm not sure for it. But the only thing that makes sense is for it to be a women's mid-card championship, but they just came out with the women's tag team championship. I think they will actually wait a while before coming up with the women's intercontinental championship or United States or women's TV television championship. I don't think it's going to be the case, but logically speaking, that's the only thing I can possibly see being needing a championship. So, yeah, they should make a championship for me. Television champion, I thought, should actually have been on NXT, and they should never had a North American championship. I would have made NXT because NXT is on WWE Network, so you could have named it the WWE Network Championship or something like that, or if you didn't want to do television championship. But I would have put that as the mid-card for NXT championship. So I don't know what it is. It does get people talking, but I think it's going to be a fail. But, you know, I try to trust in the process as much as I can because as much as I may be a fan of Major League Wrestling, I like Impact Wrestling. I follow Ring of Honor in New Japan. I'm going to follow AEW, at least for the foreseeable future. When WWE does well, everybody does well. So there's still the standard bearer, much like I am in WCC. There's still the standard bearer of professional wrestling. So
yeah, I mean, this, if it you mentioned all the time, WWE has so many titles. I mean, bringing back the Hardcore Championship. I mean, I don't know. You mentioned it's going to fail. I mean, we don't know who the competitors are going to be. We don't know who's going to challenge for the Hardcore Championship. I mean, there are so many superstars that don't have championships right now. I can say Ricochet could challenge for the Hardcore title. You got him. You also have Ali over SmackDown Live. I mean, those are possible two I can think of that can go after the Hardcore title because they're all over the place. So I would have put those two in it, but let's see what happens tomorrow night.
Does a Hardcore Championship work?
No, it don't.
And that's my issue.
It really doesn't work.
Honestly, I was fine with the Hardcore Championship, light heavyweight maybe. I was fine with the Hardcore Championship going away when it did. I was happy. I never liked the 24/7 rule, to be honest with you. I thought it was too much. But hardcore things probably shouldn't be every single week. So I was fine with a Hardcore Championship going away. But we'll see what happens 24 hours from now. And remember, immediately after that, at 11:05 p.m. Eastern, join myself and the Firecracker, the Peach Hitter, Chastity Reigns, as we bring you unpopular reviews. I'm sure Clifford will be in the comments then, too. So, hey, once again, George, what do you have for us?
I just want to make sure everyone tune in to my podcast called Did You See? I will be talking about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact Wrestling, though AEW. I may watch AEW. I might check it out and see what it is. But also, I will also have special guests to talk about wrestling from here on out. It's not going to be this week, but it will definitely be next week. It will premiere on my Facebook page. So anyone tune into my Facebook page next Thursday at 7 p.m. for Did You See with the overseer, George Samuel Lewis. So tune in for that.
Great. Thank you so much for watching us. Once again, if you like this video, make sure you like, heart, and share it. And follow us on all social media platforms at UPR, Yep, ILW. Make sure you watch us tomorrow at 11:05 p.m. Eastern for Unpopular Reviews with myself and Chastity Reigns. On Tuesday with April and Stefan at 10:05 immediately after SmackDown. And on Wednesday with Stefan Duviella this week and a special guest. Also, make sure, like he just said, watch his podcast, Join Samuel Lewis, which will be Did You See, coming up in a few weeks on a weekly show near you. Thank you so much for watching this. Hope you enjoyed Money in the Bank. See you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. What's the championship is going to be? I don't know. We'll find out. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.